Violent video games. You may think they have no negative effects on children, but in fact they do. Today I am here to inform you about the negative effects of violent video games on teens and adolescents. I am here today to encourage you to monitor what video games your child watches or plays and limit the amount of time you allow your child to play those video games. First, I'm going to start out with the positives. I didn't find many positives other than they're entertaining and they keep the child occupied. But one that I did find that might be helpful in the future is it may increase dexterity, which is the main one that I found. Numerous studies show that these violent video games make teens more aggressive. Part of this increase in aggressive behavior is correlated to the amount of time one spends playing these games. Some researchers, Gento, Lynch, Linder, and Walsh, stated that teens who played violent video games for extended periods of time tended to be more aggressive, are more prone to confrontations with teachers, may engage in fights with peers, and we sometimes see a decline in their academic achievement. Violent video games differ from violent movies because they are interactive. Violent movies also have shown some increase in violent behavior, but not quite as much as video games. In video games, this allows participants to become the characters in the game and commit the violent acts. Video games increase aggressive behavior because the violent acts are repeated and rewarded throughout the game. This is very problematic because that is an effective teaching method. A child performs an act and either is punished or rewarded for that act. If they're rewarded, they repeat the act, and if they're punished, they're less likely to repeat the act again. Another group of researchers, Bushman and Anderson, concluded that people who had prior experience with violent video games respond with higher levels of aggression when they encounter a confrontation. A number of medical associations, including the American Medical Association, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and others, caution parents about violence in media and the negative effects it has on adolescents. Now I'm going to tell you more negatives about violent video game playing. An overdependence on games can equal social isolation. Usually these games are played just the child and the game without any peers. These games do not require any creativity or independent thought. The players in the game oftentimes must become more violent to win the game. Women are often portrayed as weaker or provocative. These effects on aggressive behavior may be long-term, but we're unsure at this time. There was a research done at the Indiana University School of Medicine, and this research was given some students were playing games and they were given brain scans. These brain scans actually showed an increase in emotional arousal and a decrease of areas in the brain that involve self-control, inhibition, and attention. So the study that was done, they had 44 adolescents that were divided into two groups. One group played Need for Speed, and the other played Medal of Honor. Now, if you don't know what Need for Speed is an adrenaline-rushing racing game with no violence. And the Medal of Honor game is a war game that does have lots of violence. After 1/2 hour of playing these games, the children were given brain scans, or MRIs. The group of children who played Medal of Honor, their brain scans actually showed a negative effect on the brain, whereas the ones that played Need for Speed did not have the same effect present. We're not sure if these effects are long-term, and we're also not sure about what effects that would have if it was longer playing time. But more research is currently being done to figure that out. Lastly, I'm going to give parents tips about how to effectively and appropriately choose games for your children. First, you want to check the rating symbols on the games. These suggest the age appropriateness. If there are violent or sexual themes on the cover, you can expect that in the game. Look for games that encourage group play. Find games that require strategy. This is good for many aspects of a child's life. Check online for content and description. Avoid the first-person shooter killing games where this child is actually the person that commits all those crimes. Do not put the systems in your child's bedroom. Then that can equate to social distance. Limit the amount of time your child plays, and try to play board games with your children and have lunch and supper together. That creates more family time and also more social time. In conclusion, playing violent video games really does have a negative effect on your children. So as parents, if I can encourage you to do anything, is to try to monitor what games your child is playing and also limit the amount of time they are allowed to play them. Thank you. Now I will show you my audience. My husband, my mother, and my grandmother. Thank you.